am excited to be here today. And let me tell you why, okay? So first off, as you can see, I have Sydney Spite of the Parker Pride Alumni Association in studio with me today. And guess what? He brought them Dutch Girl donuts. I'm so excited, okay? Because listen, anybody that know me know I love Dutch Girl donuts, and I can't wait till this show is over. Amen. But we are going to get into it. I am excited. Thank you, Sydney, for joining me today, and for bringing the donuts, because amen. But I do want to kind of just jump into the show because we only have an hour time span.
Okay.
So I do want people to be able to understand a little bit more about Parker Pride alumni and just get an understanding of who you guys are. So could you tell those who may be watching or listening more about the history and mission of Parker Pride?
Okay, well, Parker Pride Foundation, it was Parker Pride. Then we changed it. Someone tried to steal our name. And that's a whole nother conversation. But we stopped that. Our attorneys kind of got that kicked out, and we turned it into Parker Pride Foundation.
Okay.
We're 501c3. Our mission is basically to bring the city together with events and activities and try to, keep the city as a family. That's not verbatim. Our mission statement is on our Facebook page and different things. You can find it. But we're really trying to do some things that the city stopped doing. We started in 2010 when the high school closed down. Before the high school closed down, I asked Dr. Carter, can I clean up the high school to try to help bring some beauty back to the high school? And it turned into something real big, because as I went around the high school taking pictures, I noticed a lot of things going on. AC units on top of the school, some of that was missing. And it's sad to say this out loud because it put a spotlight on the things that shouldn't have happened. And went to the swimming pool, and toxic waste was poured underneath the bottom of the swimming pool, in the back room of the swimming pool underneath it. And it was the holes in the wall, feces on it. It was just really, really bad. So I asked him after I took these pictures, can I start a group and clean this up?
Yeah.
And he said, why should I let you? And I said, because of these pictures I have here. And he's seen all these pictures, and it was really bad. I mean, the whole economic class, someone went in there and just defaced it. It was just stuff that you can't even talk about on TV in there. It was just nasty. And he said, okay, I'll let you clean it up. You going to the news with this? I said, no, I'm a Parker. I'm not going to put us on blast like that. So he allowed me to put a team together. It's consisted of firefighters, police officers, alumni, Mayor Wyndham. He was very instrumental in helping me put this together. And it just started off to be something real big. We had a party in the back of the school, what we called a cleanup party. And everybody showed up. The entire city and old students showed up. Reggie McKenzie, my old band director, Mr. Booker. Everybody showed up. I couldn't believe all these people showed up at this doggone thing. And Vicious Vic, he DJ'd it. And we just had a cleanup party. But it turned into more than that. In the daytime, we cleaned it up, mowed the grass. Wyndham came. This is wild. Wyndham came in a suit, a black suit and a red tie. Grabbed the lawnmower and mowed the tennis court. Now, it's funny that I'm saying the tennis court. That's how bad it was. The tennis court and the basketball court was full of grass. And he mowed both parts of the yard in a suit. Then he had to run back to City Hall and do his mayoral things. And we cleaned it up, and we had a big party at the end. And it was nice. It pulled us together, and I started Parker Pride.
So that was the formation of Parker Pride. So how has it evolved over the years?
Well, we took a pause because I didn't really know what had happened. This was something that was shocking. I just wanted to get my school back in order. It eventually closed down, and that was the sad part. We had a closing party, and everybody showed up again, and we had a big thing on the field, and we mowed the field. And the same people pretty much showed up again, and more showed up. I mean, it was over 1,000 people showed up at this high school to say bye, say bye, really to both schools, the one on Glendale as well as the one on Woodward. And we said bye. We had entertainment, and Vicious Vicky DJ'd, and it was nice. And but it really showed that as a Parker, we can come together to
Yeah.
do some things. Things have changed now. That was then. We're going to talk about now. Whenever you get to that point, please, let's talk about now.
Look, pipe down. Hold on. we gonna ride this out the right way. All right. So, what are some of the key programs or initiatives that the foundation supports here in Highland Park?
Well, we started what's the light show first. We did the light show at McGregor Library, showing the impact of the library, that the library was once a Model T for the city. That McGregor Library was just such a jewel. It was one of the oldest libraries. And for it to be in the shape that it's in now, it's sad to see a library. Kids don't go and read books no more. But I got so many plans. That library can be futuristic. Get one of the big companies to come in and put TVs around it, gaming, computers, and turn it into a computerized library, one of the first. It can be really, really big. But see, ideas, things have to happen. People have to call people. We have to make things happen. Don't just wait on it.
Yeah.
And we started the light show. We really blew that up really big, and it started at the pandemic. The idea was to stay in your car, turn on a certain station, and Miss Perry was instrumental at that time. Turn on the station and listen to the music, the sounds, and watch the light show. We lit up the library from your car so you won't have to be around people for the pandemic.
Wow.
And we kept the gates locked, and the company that did it were in the gate, and then we had live entertainment on stage, and Santa Claus came riding on top of the fire truck, and it was amazing, and that took off. We did that for about 3 years.
I was there.
Very expensive. And for it to cost what we paid, the showing of our citizens didn't come out like they should have. Something of that magnitude. That was a $10,000 project. And we lit that library up twice or 3 times. And entertainment, and it was just, whew. It was, Mr. Harper, he sung. And he when he sung the Christmas carols, the bus going down Woodward stopped. And they got off the bus and stood there in awe because this guy was sounding like Lou Ross. This guy was singing.
Really?
He gave us a show. And it was just crazy. And Parham played the saxophone and he sung, and it was just nice. And Santa Claus did his thing. And then Mayor Yap, he came, and I gave him the key. And when I gave him the key, it turned into, the key to the city, and it launched from there. And then from there, we said, well, this 10,000 is not being used in the proper way. So we moved it to a Christmas festival. I think that festival really brought out not only the kids, but it brought more of the community out. And my sponsors was helping me get these toys, and we had a chance to give every kid in the city a toy who showed up. You showed up, you got a bag of toys and free food.
That's awesome.
We bought the food truck and free food, and I got to give a shout out to Rehab Highland Park. They was one of my sponsors, and they really did a good job on lighting up the place. Blake, he brought a Ford Lightning truck and plugged the truck up to the to the lights. And the whole thing just lit up, and from a truck. It was really nice. We had a nice time.
That's awesome. I remember some of those. So, amen. Because it was fun. It was fun. The food trucks, especially. Because there was one food truck. Was it a Fork in Nigeria that came out, and them oxtails were so good.
Yeah.
Woo. Yes. Amen. So, what role does education and mentorship play in your work with the youth in the community?
Well, it's funny that you said that. This is where we're going now, and I just had a meeting with the school board. And back in my day, are you born and raised in Highland Park?
Mm-mm.
So let me educate you on how we got down. Back in the day,
Touche.
we used to, Michigan Week, we used to have to go field trip, Belle Isle or Palmer Park, and look for the state leaf, research what the fish was, research what the bird, what bird was the Michigan bird was the robin, and the white pine is the. I always thought it was the elms. I talked to this little 5-year-old yesterday, and I was like, the state flower, the state leaf is the elms. He said, "Nah, it's the white pine." I said, "Man, come on, man. I've been knowing this for years." And we put it up on Google, and that little fellow was right. It's the white pine, and I'm like, "Well, where's it at?" So, we had to do all this stuff, and then once you research all that, we put it on a board, and they had a contest, and the Bex exhibit won, and they gave them prizes, and we had the little blue ribbon on there for first, second, and third, and it's set up in the library, and your parents and everybody come see what you've done. And that was every year. And Miss Perryman, bless her heart, rest her soul, she helped us put floats together for the up and coming parade. Floats, I mean, she was the float lady. Her and Anita George, they did the floats and taught us how to do floats. We pull them up in the auto mechanics room and the trailers, and they took the toilet paper and they made them into flowers, and they taught us all this stuff. And that stuff they doing downtown for the float exhibit couldn't match none of this stuff. It was hands-on, and they put them flowers around the trailers and the cars, and it would look like it was professionally done.
Wow.
This is how deep it was. And so when I went to the school and I tried to talk to the school board, and I asked the ones, who's from Highland Park originally? Alumni. And a few raised their hand, my sister and a few other folks raised their hand. And then a couple raised their hand that from Highland Park, but didn't understand what I was saying. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is serious. Highland Park was a tradition to do Michigan Week and the things that we do and try to bring it to the schools. And the kids were more involved and did research on who Michigan, why Michigan, and how come Michigan.
Right.
Michigan, if you think about it, is one of the best states in the world. I mean, we got all the water. We got everything. All the resources are here. And we really pushed that up. And then the governor back in the day really helped us push that up. So I'm trying to bring that back to the schools so the students can do that again in large drove. And that winner or that individual will be in the parade. We had a float. The school board bought a float 2 years ago, and they had a bunch of students on it. There was a lot of drawings around the float, and it looked like the remnants of Michigan Week back in the day. They didn't draw it. That's how the float came, but it was deep. So that's what we're trying to do to bring it back to the schools.
That's awesome. So how would you say Parker Pride helped to bridge the gap between generations?
That's a tough one because a lot of the generations has moved on. What I'm bringing back is old school Highland Park, is the love of why HP for life is HP for life. Okay. I'm serious when I say HP for life. I don't even live in Highland Park. I go back and give back. If you can bring everyone who has become something of themselves, maybe rich, or have ways to create or bring things that help the city get back on its feet, come back and do, this city wouldn't have the problems that it's having. But everybody wants to, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but you have certain individuals that will say, I'm from Highland Park, but won't go back to Highland Park to say, well, I don't like what my past is looking like now. That's what I said. And I went back, and it's a story behind why I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
A major story. And when you ask me that question and why I'm really doing what I'm doing, I'm going to answer you full-heartedly on this TV on what really brought me to this.
Okay, then. All right. Well, I ain't going to ask you that question yet.
You better make it last because it's a juicy one.
We're going to pin that. So give me a success story or moment that reflects the impact that Highland Park, that you've had on Highland Park.
Well, I have the privilege to say that with the help of Rehab Highland Park, we put the first sign that says "Welcome to Highland Park" as a I would say a monument. It's in the park next to the city hall. It says "Welcome to Highland Park" as Mary Yap's name on it. rest in peace. And it really, really is something that, now we had a sign up, and it was just a little metal sign. I don't even know it's still there. It could be rusted.
I remember that little big
It's a little,
sign.
and you pass it. If you're not looking for it, you definitely will miss it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we have a big sign. It's not on the corner at the edge of Highland Park, because it's kind of hard to put something of that magnitude there, because there's really no place to put it. But it's in the park, and Mayor Yop, he said I can put it there, and it looks very nice. And Rehab Highland Park, they keep the grounds going, and they adopted the park and make sure that sign stays the way it looks.
That's awesome.
You get a chance, go down there and check it out. It's on Massachusetts, right on the corner.
Right on the corner at Woodward too.
What would a Massachusetts?
Oh yeah, drive past it every day. Okay, so what are some of the challenges that the foundation has faced in all of your efforts, and how have you overcame them?
Well, it's a stigmatism on Highland Park. A lot of people look at Highland Park as back in the day it used to be on fire. I mean, Devil's Night was for real here. They was burning everything down. Drugs was running rampant. It got really out of hand. It was really crazy. Things were going on with Highland Park that people just backed away from the city and said, I don't want nothing to do with that city. It's out of control. Mm-hmm. So as I started and trying to get sponsors to help me do the things that I'm doing, I come to believe that people like Highland Park, but people don't love Highland Park. Meaning, my sponsor that I have now is really involved in helping me do what I feel that God has me here to do for my old city. And that is to create, bring back, and try to locate and give us an identity of who we are.
Yeah.
Why we are. And it's sad to say that the people who ran off and left, they don't come back. And the people that wants to help, they sit in the dark and they sin and they help. But I got some people that's standing out there and they really want to help me out.
That's awesome. So have you faced any challenges with the city at all? Because I know that you guys do a lot of work within the city. So how is that?
At first, and I don't like to talk ill of the dead, but Mayor Yop tried his best to stop me. When I was granted to do this parade, he said, I'm going to do the parade. We're going to do the parade. You know how he talk. I said, well, Parker Pride want to do the parade and alleviate the city with that burden on trying to find sponsors or dumping their bank account to try to make this happen. And he did everything he could to stop us, but I got to give it to the old city council. They really, really stepped up and said, no, we're going to let and see what Parker Pride can do with this parade. Because back in the day, that parade was every year. Every year. In Michigan, we was on Woodward. They stopped us from going on Woodward. They want $20,000 for me to put it on Woodward now.
Wow.
I thought that was crazy. To block off the freeway, they wanted $20,000 to block off the freeway, 6 Mile and Webb. So one day we'll get back on Woodward. Right now we're on Hamilton. And he tried his best. So when they told him, let's see if Parker Pride can do a good job, that first parade was a parade you've never seen in your life. I mean, we had floats. And he stepped right into it and said, jumped on the float, and for him not to say, Parker Pride, you guys did a great job. We're thankful to have you guys bring this parade back. He took the credit and said, Highland Park, we got a great parade going on, and he never mentioned our name. Never mentioned our name, never thanked us, not one time. And it was sad, but I said, we're not going to let that hurt us. We're going to keep it going. And the real people who we really try to appease, they knew who it was. Then it came out that Parker Pride is doing this parade.
Well, in the end, I think he kind of gave into the idea.
He gave it to the idea so good that just before he stopped being the mayor, where he retired, and he gave me permission to put that sign up, he said, Spike, can I join Parker Pride? I looked. I said, "Man, you trying to break us up? Really?"
He
That
has
let me know that we doing a good job. And
he had his own way of doing things.
Right.
It was like he wanted to do what was good, and sometimes I think he just didn't know.
But you know who really gave the go ahead and do it? Miss Square, Catholic Square. She said, "Let Spike do it. We don't have the money to do it, just flat out." And I can get some sponsors. I can get some people to do it. Let Spike do it. And from there, from her saying that launched it, that parade.
That's awesome. I know, y'all. It was. I've had some funny moments with
I know you did.
I had some funny moments with him, but he actually brought me into Highland Park, and so I am forever grateful for that. But so how can current students, or let's say community members, right, people who have heard the idea of Parker Pride, people who are inspired by what you are doing, how can they get involved with the foundation?
I'm going to give you the number at 248-228-6369, 248-228-6369. My name is Sidney Spike, and you can hit me on my Facebook page. We're looking for young people. We want to start a subcommittee for Parker Pride. Individuals who want to really, really get this thing going.
Yeah.
My idea is the parade is going. I want to give it back to the city. I want the city to do this. I mean, we're in partnership right now with the city. Mayor Glenda said we got to put that on our flyers now, in partnership, because they do help us out a lot. They do, and I understand why she said that.
Yeah.
And we want individuals, we want the seniors, we want everybody who's anybody to come and let's make this thing happen, because I got some big ideas I really want to do in lieu of what I'm doing now. And I can't do it all by myself. I really need help. I really need funding, because if the people who hear me understand what I'm saying, and the individuals who have finances or sponsorships understand why I really need their help, you will really see the vision of getting this city back up and running. I looked at a TikTok little clip the other day, and it talked about Michigan and the richest cities in Michigan. And I'm looking at it, and my wife said, "Sid, you might want to see this." I asked all about, what's the richest city in Michigan? The first thing that they said was, the richest city in Michigan, we're going to start with the poorest city in Michigan, is Highland Park. And they showed the crescent of Highland Park. I thought that was so hurtful. I almost started crying. Knowing it, but not hearing it worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, that's painful. That's really painful. The poorest city in Michigan is Highland Park.
Wow.
That's hard to swallow.
It is. That's deep.
So I want to change that.
Oh yeah, and it can be changed.
Do you know this city is so rich in its own right? We got the first freeway, the Davidson Freeway. Mm-hmm. The first production car road off the Assembly here. Mm-hmm. We have mansions that dignitaries and officials in Washington and your writers, your painters lived in Highland Park.
Yeah.
This city is rich in its own right. And for the city not utilizing that for wealth, we're going to have to really, really sit back and think about how this can work out. I'm a salesman by trade. I can sell this city to a point that we can make some money in this city. We really do need to.
Yeah. So I know that most people that want to get involved, can you give the phone number one more time before we go to commercial break?
248-228-6369. 248-228-6369. Sidney Spite. You can hit me on my Facebook page. My number is also on the Facebook page.
All right. So you are watching the Highland Park Spotlight. We have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, I got way more questions. And I really can't wait to get to these donuts. They sitting over here on this table and they looking at me. But we gonna be back.
She ain't gonna look like this after she eats these donuts. It's a lot of calories.
So stay right here. Yes, I am. I'm gonna burn them all. I'm gonna walk. Okay. So stay here. And when I come back, we'll return and still have this conversation with Sidney Spite in regards to the Michigan Wheat Parade and the Parker Pride Foundation. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabria, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Your radio is now on TV. Your TV is now on radio. WHPR 88.1 FM can now be heard and seen worldwide. The same platform that hosts all of your favorite content now has WHPR TV and radio. Have your own radio or TV show on Roku with approximately 8 million homes. Debut your music video, clothing line, church ministry, plays, or products. A limited number of slots are available, so act now. For more information, visit RokuDetroit.com or call 313-868-6612. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
Claudine Jackson thought she had it all until she was faced with the challenges of raising an autistic child. Inspired by autism is her brutally honest journey filled with heartbreak and triumph. Get your copy and find the support you deserve today by visiting www.claudinejackson.tv.
Muscles, joints, or feet tired, achy, or distressed? Tried everything? Ringmaster Rubbing Oil is a vintage topical pain reliever, trusted for over 70 years, with a rich formula for the treatment of stubborn aches and pains. Packaged in a glass bottle for purity, our liquid can also be used in warm water for foot soaks and compresses. A little goes a long way. Try our time-tested formula, available in several sizes.
Make a donation to WHPR TV and receive 2 2-ounce bottles of Ringmaster Rubbing Oil for $25. Call 313-868-6612.
Back to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B, and I have none other than Sydney Spite in studio with me today, looking like Morris Day in the Time, because he said it earlier. But right now, we are back in studio. If you have missed the first half of the show, that's too bad. But you're going to have to catch the replay, right, on YouTube or Facebook, however you want to receive it. And we are talking about Parker Pride Alumni Foundation, and we are in the next half, and so I want to talk more about the parade that's coming up, right? So Michigan Week is this huge thing that's been celebrated. It used to be celebrated across the state of Michigan, but now it's not. And from my understanding, Highland Park is one of the only areas that continues to celebrate it. And so what can we expect from Parker Pride Alumni Foundation during this year's Michigan Week parade?
Well, the parade is May 17th. Starting time is going to be 10 o'clock.
A.M.?
10 o'clock a.m.
Here we go.
to 3 to 4 p.m. Depends on how it turns out. We're expecting Lieutenant Governor to launch it, to open it up, do his spiel, and he's also running for governor. So he's going to do his spiel. And I think they just committed to it. We had a lot of phone calls with them. So hopefully they show up. And this will be the first time. We've been trying to get Gretchen so many times. Bless her heart. She sent a letter the year that Krashid tried to stop us. And
Councilman Krashid?
Yeah, Councilman Krashid sent a letter to tell him and tell the council to leave us alone and let us do our parade. So from there, the mayor is in control of we do it or don't we do it. So we don't even have to go through the council anymore because of what she did, and I bless her heart for that, Mayor Gretchen.
Governor Gretchen.
Excuse me, Governor Gretchen. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be May 17th from it's really 12 to 4. We're going to line up at 10 a.m. to get everybody going. It's going to be a really big parade. So if you want to be in this parade, please get there early to line up. We're expecting entertainment at the end of the parade, clowns and everything that's in a parade. Bands, we got a lot of marching bands being in there. It's gonna be bigger. Every year it's bigger. I think we're looking at least close to maybe 200 people being in the parade this time. Really, I want, and this is sad to say because it's something that I want to happen. It should have been happening. I would like all the city officials, meaning the mayor's cabinet, the people that work for the mayor, the people who work for the DPW, everybody in the city, like back in the day, firefighters, police officers, to come to the parade and show unity of the parade. This is a Highland Park parade, meaning everybody from Highland Park should be there, just in solidarity, just to help, just to show the love of something someone else is out there doing. And I don't even live in the city no more, but I come back and give back.
All right, now. So he's calling on everybody. Okay?
Everybody.
He's calling on everybody. That Saturday, I won't be available. But he's calling on everybody. I'll try and show my face.
If you can.
If I can. No, seriously. Because I have a 52-week program that I do for parents and children. So, I have a program that day. But if I can make it, I definitely will. So why is participating in the parade so important to the foundation and the alumni you represent?
It's not important to the foundation. It's important to the city. And this is what I'm trying to get across. To get this city back up and running, first we need to see who's in this city. If you're Parkers, then you understand what I'm saying. If you're not, we need to let them know what type of family we used to have. We used to support everything in Highland Park. We went to the basketball games and the football games and didn't have nobody in the school. But we loved the city and everything about it. So when we have blocks with people that we just don't know, we need to see who they are and let them know. Get involved. Because this city is poor because the people in the city is not showing the love and the wealth of the city. And wealth comes from love. If you love something, no matter if you got it or not, it looks good. It looks good. You got to paint it first to make it look good. And we're trying to put a nice paint job on the city. You like that? You like that? Don't use it now.
I'm going to have to take that. Touche. I like that. That's in the memory bank. I'm going to show no take that. So are there any special themes? I know you mentioned Lieutenant Governor, he was coming out, but are there any other honorees or performances the public should look out for?
Other than the Mayor Glenda, she's going to be there. I don't know. We put it out there since the governor is going to be there. I put it out there that we want other individuals who's running. Come on. Let's get in the parade. Other candidates running. Come on out. Make sure you give me a call so we can get you in the lineup and, get the applications and the waivers signed to put you in this parade. If it's something that you want to pass out, then come on and we'll let you know how to go about doing that. But we want everybody in this parade.
Okay. All right. Well,
now, the lieutenant governor is running for governor.
Right.
He's going to bring his hat, both of them, the lieutenant governor and the candidate. So if somebody running against him, I would like Duggan to show up. He's running too. Come on in and do your thing, All is
There's
welcome.
some folks running for U.S. Senate too.
Hey, come on in. Don't let Highland Park say, well, that place is not that big. I need a bigger crowd. No bigger crowd than a parade. No matter if nobody show up, it's still a parade. Show your stuff. At least practice how to walk down the street. I'll give you some practice for it. That'll help you, know how to throw the candy or pass out the flyers. If you don't get it right, then you got to practice.
Practice. Practice?
That's right.
To show up for practice?
Yeah, show up for practice.
All right. So
how about that?
Took me back to AI. Allen Iverson, we can talk about practice. All right. So how does your presence in the parade celebrate the legacy and the future of Highland Park?
My mom, Marion Spite, She started the first soup kitchen in Highland Park. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
Right on Glendale, in that church, right there on the corner.
Really?
No, Highland, right there on the corner.
Okay.
That big, great church. That was the church we went to back in the day. It's a Presbyterian church. And she started the first soup kitchen on the phone. Back in the day, the parents ran this city. That's when Mayor Porter was there, and Bob Blackwell. They went to council meetings if they had to. Other than that, Agrippa Jones and Martha Scott, she was part of that crew. They got stuff done back in the day, and people wonder, how did it happen? It happened on the phone. It's who you call. It's what buttons you push. And they started all that, and they woke up people. And that's how this city need to understand what to do. The seniors ran this place. The people that knew better ran this place. Where they at? We need them. Martha Scott, she's still here, and she's still trying to do her fight, but we need more. We need more people to come out and help out who understand what the past was.
Okay.
And that's what drives me and taught me on what to do, how to do it, and why to do it. I remember when the school board was picketing. We slept outside of 20 Bartlett. People don't know what 20 Bartlett was, the school board over there on the side of Sears, across from the high school. And we picketed and sat out in front of 20 Bartlett until they did what we needed to do. And our parents brought us there. I was a little kid. I'm like, we gonna stay here all night? All night. And they shut it down and opened it back up, and things was what they needed it to be. And when it come down to raising money, we used to have this place that gave us oranges. We used to sell these big giant oranges, bags of them, and everybody bought these. I mean, we were in 10,000, big money, by just selling oranges. And stuff like that is gone. That's what keeps us moving. That's what makes a Highland Park. And the people that hear me that remember that, they probably crying right now, because that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna throw this out there, right? Don't condemn me.
I need a glove.
You might want to catch it. Because I know that Highland Park has this rich history, right? There's this rich history here in Highland Park. So much foundation is already laid here. But it's going to take, I don't want you to forget about the past, but I want you to use the past to create innovation for the future, right? Because right now, there's so many youth growing up here in Highland Park, and they need something to attach themselves to, because they have a lot of ideas. So when you mentioned that you're trying to open the foundation up to bring in more youth, I think that's what's going to be the launch pad for the foundation, because new ideas, once you meet people, it's like it changes your blueprint, right? Something I picked up from Hill Harper. Shout out to you.
Yeah, he need to be in this parade. I keep sending him stuff.
He actually talks about being the architect of your own future, and it just talks about how you meet new people, and it's a cycle where you meet new people, you have to go back to the drawing board, erase, and so forth, because innovation and new ideas and new platforms and whatnot come into play. And so I think bringing in that youth will be that launch pad that the Parker Pride would need in order to really push the vision, because I see where you're going, but I think having the youth come in with the innovation and new ideas, because social media is so big now, having a youth that can push Parker Pride on YouTube, TikTok, and all of that, because that's how it's going to gain ground. You know what I'm saying? So if you saw what you saw on TikTok in regards to the richest cities or, in Michigan, and then the first thing they mention is Highland Park, and having someone come around with Parker Pride, now hear me out, I'm throwing this out there, you might want to catch
it back to you.
No, because I ain't about to do it. But just having somebody that can create a TikTok for your Parker Pride Alumni Association, that can go out and talk about the good things, see, that can go live and show the parade and all of that, like that would be great. Just throwing that out there.
And that's where we're headed.
Touche.
But the sad part about it, I want to bring these kids and individuals because they're so talented, especially when it comes to the makeup of computers and TikTok and the things they don't even do Facebook.
Nope,
TikTok,
they don't.
Instagram.
They don't be on Facebook.
They call that the old.
That's the old people's
site. So I'm an old person. I'm on there, but who are they? And that's what I'm trying to find out. Who are the young people in Highland Park today? When I ride down the street, say I rode down the street in the past, you seen strollers and kids everywhere. Every playground was full. Every block had 20, 40, 50 kids. The biggest family was the Millers and the Johnsons, the 20 kids apiece, maybe more. I'm talking about, it was kids, boy. Now you ride down the street and you don't see nobody. You see people walking, but pushing that little stroller that we used to get at Ivanhoe. That back in the day burnt down. It used to be across the street over there.
I don't know nothing about it.
Ivanhoe grocery store. They used to sell a little fold-up stroller. And the young girls that got pregnant at a young age, they go get the little stroller. And it made out look like an umbrella, but it was a little stroller.
I know what you're talking about.
And you see them everywhere. Kids everywhere. And then they grew up and you got kids everywhere. But now to find the youth, I go to the Reg McKenzie Foundation, and they're in there. But a lot of those kids are bussed in there. A lot of those kids are brought there. We don't have a high school. To find the older kid that could really benefit off of what we do. When we started, they allowed me to give kids that helped us clean up the place credits, graduating credits, to help me clean this place up. And they got credits. That was at the high school. But to go to the middle school, you're dealing with a younger kid, one that can't leave the house by themselves. They have to be, escorted by a parent, which is good. But teenagers can come and do things that we need done without the supervision of, I can't get you there, I can't drive today, I got to go to work. This kid can come and meet you there because they're old enough to get around by themselves. We really need help from youth. If parents is out there, you got youth that lives in Highland Park. Hey, I'm even going to say if you don't live in Highland Park, you just want to get involved in something that's pure, that's about to grow to a point that I'm going to be on the next Mount Rushmore of Highland Park. My face going to be sitting up there somewhere, and I don't know who else going to be with me, but I'm not going to stop until I get my dream. And I'm going to tell you that dream when you ask me that dream.
I'm going to get there. I promise. All right, so
it might get tearful now.
What message does the foundation hope to send to the community through its participation in the Michigan Week festivities?
What message is that? We're here and we're bringing back all the past. This is just the parade.
Okay.
The next step is to try to get our fireworks back. And the next step from there, we're going to try to do the bookmobile or whatever we can come up with to try to bring all that stuff molded us and got us ready for the next level of growth. And it's gone. Parker Pride going to try to bring a lot of stuff back. We need your help.
Okay.
Can't bring the swimmobile back. That's a liability.
No.
Yeah.
I remember the swimmobile.
Yeah. Body Peel. They taught me how to swim on there. I remember the swimmobile.
I remember that. Dang, that speaks to my age.
Are you still young? Yeah. You was at the end of the swimmobile.
Very true. I was at the end. I was towards the end of it. Towards the end. All right. So I see you got the flyer for the Michigan Week Parade. So did you want to just kind of read off the information in regards to the Michigan Week Parade?
2025 Michigan Week Parade is our 5th parade. We're building. This is our goal. Building the future, honoring the past. That's going to be on the top of our banner. And it starts May 17th, 12 to 4. I said 10 because you got to get there and line up and get the things together. The lineup starts at 10. My sponsors, 8 Mile Foodland, they're going to feed everybody for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hot dogs and chips and stuff for everybody, basically for the kids. Rehab Highland Park, they do a lot. That's one of our sponsors. LGC Global, Tom Hardiman. I'm sure
folks.
Hey, Tom Hardiman is our largest sponsor. He really helps
Tommy,
us out.
shout out to Tommy.
He really helps us out in a way that I couldn't do none of it without him. As well as State Farms. She's a black State Farms agent.
What's her
in
name?
Redford. Her name is man, I ain't got my glasses on.
You got they on your face.
No, I'm talking about. But this stuff is so small.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I don't think her. Is it Crystal?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Not me. Oh, that's Kydra.
Mitchell. Kendra Mitchell.
Yeah, that's Kendra.
Kendra Mitchell.
Okay. All right. Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware on 9 Mile, on the borderline of Oak Park and Ferndale. They got a thing that they register, and they have created. He called me yesterday. They only had it for 2 weeks. So far, they got $1,000 in
awesome.
the change that they get. Would you like to donate to Parker Pride Foundation? And bam, they giving up money for that. So that's our newest sponsor, and they doing real good. K&G, where I work at, we're gonna give away 10 gift cards to individuals that we choose that stands out in the community. Sponsored by K&G. 10 gift cards we're gonna give to an individual. Stepping Out on Faith is the daycare in Oak Park. She's an alumni from Highland Park. She gets our Porta Johns. Okay. Every year she gets our Porta Johns. My foot doctor, Neil Mosen, foot doctor, as well as Myers down the street. They're one of our sponsors. And the longest and the oldest business in Highland Park is C.W. Morris. Thank you, Mr. Henry. He stepped up and really contributed big this year.
That's awesome. Shout out to all the sponsors.
As well as Highland Park. That's one of our sponsors.
City of Highland Park.
City of Highland Park.
There we go. Yep, get it correct. Mm-hmm. But all right, so shout out to all the sponsors. If you can make it, please come out May 17th. Lineup starts at 10 a.m. So make sure that you are there so you can get in line if you want to march. If you just want to be a spectator, you could be on the sidelines. Start from 12, ends at 4. Free food, free,
entertainment,
fellowship, entertainment, and get an opportunity to really be a part of history. And I'm going to open it up because I know you keep asking me to ask you this question. So what is the real reason as to why you are doing what you are doing?
Okay. Back in 85, 89, 2000, I was on drugs. Big time. And I didn't like the way I was. And nobody really knew it. Highland Park, back in 84, it was 84, 85, 86. Highland Park was flooded with drugs with no education on don't do it. No, you hear Hillary Clinton just say no. Who want to hear that mess? We needed real education. And at that time, the police department was corrupted. They was doing crazy stuff and putting it in, I'm going to put it out. They were putting it in the city. And I don't want to say the individuals because that's kind of bad.
No names.
That's kind of bad.
No names.
But, they really didn't help us to not do what we did. And I got on drugs kind of bad. And I asked God if I ever get off of this. And I had to go to treatment. No one really knew about that. I just disappeared. And I told my mom. My mom called. Herman Kiefer was open then. I called my mom.
Herman Kiefer, wow.
Yeah, and I said, Mom, I'll be back. She said, where you going? I said, Mom, I got to go. I got a drug problem. She said, you got a drug problem? She didn't know.
Wow.
I said, yeah. She said, well, how long you gone? I said, I'll let you know. So I told her, I called, I did 90 days. Then I said, I called her back. I said, I'm finna do a whole year. She said, wow. So when I got out, I swore, I said, this city tried to kill me. So the city that tried to kill me, I got to bring it back because I forgive it. And I'm getting a little tearful.
Wow.
I forgive this city.
Wow.
This city has a lot to offer. And for the things that happened to me in the past, I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people didn't make it. We had to really, really pull together. And a lot of us that did make it, they come back and they try to give back. But I'm really serious about this. I need your help. Highland Park, I need your help. Help my dream come true. Please. My mom, I wish she was here to see what I've accomplished. And the sad part, thank you, sir. And the best part about it, when you go to see that sign on Massachusetts, it's facing Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
That's the block I grew up on.
Wow.
And people ask, why did you put it there? My mom is passed. My dad is passed. But they always say the spirit stays home. When they step off the porch and look down the street, they see what their baby did done. They see my son. And that's the reason why it's there. So,
wow.
Highland Park, please, help me get this city back up and running. We owe it to the founders of the city. And now it's an all-black city. And don't let the stigma be blacks can't maintain and run nothing. We can. And this is a prime example. It was all white and was doing well. Now it's all black and it's the poorest city. I can't go with that. I can't sleep with that. So help me. That's my story on why I put Parker Pride together.
That's a powerful story.
I told you it was deep. And no one really knew that. I don't think my sister knew that. And Janet White Spite, she was instrumental in me helping putting this thing back up and running. And I don't think I told her why I'm really doing this. But the city is way overdue. I want to turn the Highland Park, and I'm going to say this. They don't want me to do it, but I want to turn the Highland Park grounds with a high school into a park. Zip lining from the front of the park to Oakman, amphitheater, the greenways walking through there. We got tennis court, basketball court, baseball, football still there. Can you imagine the money that it could make when people is walking through that greenway, stopping to vendors in a park that's a state of the art? In the wintertime, ice skating and different things going on. That's money for the city.
Yeah.
You know, you could put houses there, but the city got to be ready to put houses. They don't put them up there and what's going to happen? It's going to stay like it is. You know, revenue. We got to get money put back in this city, and I got a lot of ideas. And when I pitched that to Mr. Hinton, he said, Sidney, that's one of the best ideas I've ever heard. And he was gone, and he said, this is one of the best ideas. Let's try to make it happen. And it never got off the ground. It never got off the ground because he wasn't the mayor and Hinton left. He was going to really help me get that pushed.
That's a really good idea, though.
That will be the next Edgewater Park.
That's a really good idea.
And then when you have a carnival, your carnival will be there. Your class reunion picnics will be there. Mm-hmm. Your family reunions will be there. And then it's enough. You can have a nature trail. I talked to this lady. She could make it into a nature trail. Now, the grounds was toxic. Ford dumped on there, and that's why that school didn't have no windows. And a lot of my teachers died of cancer. A lot of the principal, a lot of the security, a lot of people died in that school. They don't want to say it, but I got it from the horse's mouth. That building wasn't supposed to be built on those grounds. It was toxic, and when they dug it up, they dug everything up. So I talked to Sue. She said we can put plants out there. I got it all set of plants that would absorb toxic if it's anything left in the soil. Certain trees and plants and different things, we can really make that happen. But it's going to take someone to help me. I even talked to Tom Hardiman, and I really want to make this happen. That's wealth for the city. That's people coming outside the city to the city and spending money because here come the other buildings once they have something like that.
Yeah.
But those are all dreams.
And it can come to pass. You just got to get connected to the right people, right?
It can, yeah.
So I think you telling your story kind of opens up because I want to say.
Oh, and now I'm 28 years clean.
Oh, wow.
From drugs and alcohol.
Let's go.
That's right.
Let's go.
And my first job was K&G. I'm 28 years at K&G. When I got out of treatment, that's who hired me. That's why I would never leave K&G.
Wow.
They don't know that.
Wow. That's
always
awesome.
Stick with what works.
Wow. Okay.
That's deep, man.
That is.
Whew.
That's a story.
That's a story.
That's a story.
You should put it down.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You should write about it.
I should write about it.
Yeah, then let me sign the book for you. Let's get this money.
Hey.
I need a ghostwriter.
Listen, don't tell me that. We got ChatGPT now.
Watch yourself.
We ain't got to do much. But I think you sharing your story kind of opens the door for people to have a greater understanding, right? Anytime people want to attach themselves to something, it's because it's something meaningful. And although they might have the idea of Parker Pride, it's all about Highland Park, it's all about, bringing back Highland Park, but to know why, the story behind it creates an emotional tie, right? I learned this
exactly what it is.
I learned this in marketing. But, people want to know why a person is doing something, and something so powerful as this makes me say, okay, now I see the passion behind it. Now I understand why you're so gung-ho about it, and why you're pushing it, and why you're really pulling on people to get involved, because there's a story, and it could have went the other way.
It really could have.
It could have went the other way, but it didn't. So praise God for that, right? So I want to say thank you for coming on this show and giving your story, because that's a testimony, honestly. Let's be honest about it. That's a testimony. And so
that's never been said from me.
Listen, and it was on my show.
Yeah,
it was on my show. Peep that.
And more to come.
And more to come. I like that. So thank you again for coming on the Highland Park Spotlight Show. Everyone that's watching, please make sure you show up May 17th, 12 o'clock to 4 p.m. on Hamilton. If you want to be in it, 10 o'clock. Come down, get in the lineup, take that ride from Tuxedo and Hamilton all the way down to Pickens, and stop at the rec center and have a good time on Parker Pride. It is your girl, Keisha B. You've been watching the Highland Park Spotlight with Sydney Spite, who's putting it down right here in Highland Park. And I'll catch y'all next time.